and this is really true, it's very, very hard to be a human, especially right now in the political climate we're in and all of that. It's just so difficult and exhausting to be human. So I think, why not be an animal? Why can't we just be animals for 5 minutes, and or something other, you know, and get away from being human and all of the complications that go with that, and just be something more ethereal. Um, I do a big bad wolf number. I do vampire numbers. I have a green man number. I do all kinds of like other characters, and it's just to depart from the mundane, I think. And also, there's no gender in that kind of thing to me. Like, a vampire, you don't wonder what the gender of a vampire is. You just know that they're a vampire. So you're elevating it to another place where what's in their pants does not fucking matter. But I find, I don't know, power and comfort in being the vampire character. So it's like armor. It's an added layer of armor. Every time you add another character upon what you're doing, it's another layer of armor and protection, if that makes sense. From the core being that you are, you can add Drag King. And then you can add, on top of that, you've got this other thing. Like I got the vampire number. And people can't get to they're like, what's going on here? What's happening here? You will never know what's under all this. You know? So I think it just adds to the mystery of being a performer. At one of the venues that we recently did, they gave us some very, very strict guidelines. And they said, we want you to keep it, at first they said, we want you to keep it PG-13. I go, that's what we do for our sausage party, because we do a daytime show. Then the election happened. And I was like, they're going to cancel. I know it. I just know they're going to cancel. They didn't. To their credit, they did not. And they said, we're going to go forward with it, but we need you to know it's not going to be PG-13. It has to be PG. So we were thinking Disney drag, sort of, because not actual Disney drag, but that vibe, because at this point, things are very volatile in Texas, especially, and this is open to the public, and this is the first time we've ever advertised a drag show. So we need to meet people where they're at, because there are going to be people coming in that weren't expecting drag. They're going to be wandering through. So we need to meet people where they're at. PG-13, take out the cuss words, no political discussion. And I was like, ooh, but the drag is political, it's punk, it's like, all of that. But I understand you have to give a little bit. If you want to normalize drag, you have to meet people where they're at sometimes. But we do a political show actually every year at Mustache Envy. It's called Terrifying Politics. And one year I dressed as Greg Abbott. Oh, you've got to see my Greg Abbott. It's really good, surprisingly good. And I have long nails, and I'm terrifying. And one year we did a number where Roxy and Evelyn are singing "Enough Is Enough" by Barbra Streisand and Donna Summer. And then they move out of the way, and this uterus comes walking out with a trans flag on the back, like, and the face is cut out. You can see it's Rex Luthor. And then they're dancing, and all of a sudden all these politicians show up, and they start circling the uterus, and we're all like, like looking really menacing, and the uterus is like, ah, like that. And I'm Greg Abbott, and there's like Ken Paxton, there's a Donald Trump, there's all kinds of terrifying political figures. And then but at the end, the uterus like starts stomping and like chases them off, and we all like bump into each other like, and we run off. It's pretty cute. So, but we do a lot of political numbers too, because drag is politics. Drag is like every time you step on stage, like RuPaul says, it's an act of revolution and a political statement. It takes a lot of balls, I think, especially in Texas, to get on stage and perform in drag. Sometimes you sit in the car and you go, is this the last time? I don't know. Because there's always the chance that it could be. I mean, you've seen what happened in Colorado and in Florida. And I had that thought about this weekend, too. It's like, I was going to be emceeing, and I was like, before I left, my husband said, I just wanted to tell you, I know this is dangerous. And I was like, it can be. And he's like, but I understand why you do it. But there was that thought that I was like, well, I'm emceeing, who's the first person they're going to see if they walk in? You know what I mean? So it's terrifying sometimes, but if you stop, then they win.